Are you thinking about getting a second Boston Terrier? In this video, I speak with Monique about her experience of getting a second Boston and what life has been like with a new puppy. Be sure to stay till the end because she's going to share with us some tips on what you can do to make your old Boston feel special even when a new puppy arrives. Coming up. Hey everybody, welcome to the Boston Terrier Society YouTube channel. Be sure to hit subscribe if you're someone who wants to learn more about the breed, learn what it's like to be an owner, hear expert interviews, as well as connect with other Boston Terrier lovers just like yourself. I'm Donnie Gardner, the founder of BostonTerrierSociety.com, and over here is Bella. She happens to be taking a nap right now in the sun. Boston's one of their favorite things to do is living in the sun. Today in this video, I actually get to interview Monique, and she has a 10-week-old Boston Terrier, Oreo. He's a male. He was born on June 2nd, and she's going to share with us just some experiences that she's had, with a brand new Boston puppy and getting a second Boston. She currently has a Boston Terrier named Brownie. He was a rescue, and she just kind of shares the dynamic between those two, as well as some tips on what you can do if you're getting a second Boston. Without further ado, let's get into the show. Monique, thank you so much for coming on the Boston Terrier Society YouTube channel. Could you just tell us a little bit about yourself and Brownie and Oreo?
Basically, I guess I'm a single mother of four, two being humans and two being my fur babies, Brownie and Oreo. Brownie, who's not on camera right now, has been in my family for about 4 years. She actually was a rescue dog. I'm not sure what her age is, but according to the vet, she's probably around 8 or 9 years old. Mm-hmm. I always knew that I wanted to get a second dog, but just with working and kids and everything, I just didn't have time to dedicate to training another dog. But with the pandemic, I felt like this was a really good time to get a new dog since we're all at home anyway. So that's how we got Oreo. Mm-hmm. And he is a 10-week-old Boston, and we got him like 3 weeks ago. His gotcha date was July the 20th, and his birthday is June the 2nd.
With the whole pandemic and everything, because I've heard from a lot of people saying it's been hard just to find any dogs, let alone Boston Terriers. What was the process like with that since, with Brownie you rescued?
Yeah, initially I wanted another rescue dog, but I think because what I was looking for was so specific this time, I know I wanted a male dog. Dogs of different genders, they actually get along better. I knew I wanted a black and white Boston Terrier, so because of that, I just couldn't find a rescue dog, so I actually ended up finding him through Facebook groups because the prices of when I Googled different breeders in my area, they were so expensive, but I found different Facebook groups dedicated to Bostons or available dogs in the area, and that's how I found Oreo. But it was pretty hard to find any dog just off Google. It was pretty hard to find a dog.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's what I've heard from a lot of other people. Well, as far as with Oreo and everything, you had Brownie, and she was like around 4 years old. What's been the biggest difference between the two as far as getting Oreo, being a hyper little Boston Terrier puppy, and Brownie?
Yeah, it's a totally different thing, and I knew that it would be much harder, so I was trying to mentally prepare myself. I know that puppies are more playful. They whine at night sometimes when you first initially get them in the potty training, so I was trying to mentally prepare myself, but you really can never prepare yourself. Really like having a new baby in the house. And it's so funny because Brownie, and from what I know of Bostons, are pretty quiet dogs, but Oreo is not quiet. He barks a lot. He does a lot of crying. He's all over the place. He actually makes Brownie, which is so funny because I don't think I heard Brownie bark like the first year that I had her, but she's barked more since I've gotten Oreo because Oreo barked at her and she'll bark at him. Since I've heard, this is the most I've ever heard her bark since I've had her. He's definitely very energetic, very hungry. He eats, it's like he's always hungry. The breeder told me to feed him 3 times a day, but it seems like after he eats, he's still searching for food, which kind of created a problem between him and Brownie because he ate out of her bowl, and after that she decided that she no longer wanted to eat, and she just stopped eating altogether. Like she really fell into a depression because he ate out of her bowl.
Hey, if you're getting value out of this video, consider subscribing to this YouTube channel Or if you want to check out a video from Monique, you can check that out here, where she basically explains getting her Boston Terrier puppy Oreo on her YouTube channel. So check that out right here. And back to the show. Any tips for someone who's getting either a Boston Terrier for the first time, maybe a puppy Boston Terrier or a second Boston Terrier?
Definitely, well, in my case, I have tips like basically what I wish I would have done as far as introducing a puppy to a older dog or your original dog. I wish I would have done more research on that because I definitely did not expect Brownie's reaction. She really loves dogs. She's always excited to see dogs when we go on walks. Oreo, she did not like Oreo in her space. I even brought Brownie with me to see their interaction when I went to pick up Oreo, and it was fine. Oreo did try to nurse on her, and she didn't like that, but other than that, they were kind of, sniffing each other and, playing around. But once we got into the house, it was something totally different. I would definitely say a tip would be make sure that you introduce the dogs in a neutral setting, not within the home. So maybe, I don't know, go to a park or something, or meet at a friend's house, or in my case, I'd introduce them at the breeder's home if you're able to do that. Another tip I would say, and this is something that I did not do, is pick up anything that belongs to your original dog, the bowl, toys, or anything like that, because that either will make the original dog aggressive towards the puppy, or in Brownie's case, it made her depressed. Like I said, she stopped eating, she stopped using the bathroom, and she would just go to a different room, all because the puppy touched her bowl. And another thing is what I would say, what kind of brought Brownie back to life a little bit more, is I started to take her on walks by herself. So do things with your original dog by herself or by himself, so that they know that they're still loved. That kind of brought her back out to her normal self, and she started eating based off that. Whenever they're interacting with each other or socializing with each other, just make sure you monitor them. Because, Brownie knows that this is a puppy, that she has to be gentle, but sometimes she still might be a little bit too rough, or sometimes I think she just gets a little bit snippy because the puppy gets on her nerves. But and vice versa also, because like I said, the puppy tries to nurse on her often, and Brownie doesn't like that. So just monitor them whenever they're together to make sure that they're playing nice with each other. So I just love the comparison right now with Brownie on the couch sleeping and the puppy. Yes, it's definitely a lot of energy over here, and Brownie's very laid back, and a lot of times Oreo will see her, and he goes up to try to play with her, and she's looking like, please get this thing. She just kind of looks at me and rolls her eyes like, oh. So yeah, she's adjusting. Definitely, as far as getting a new puppy, just having him or her on a schedule with the potty training. Like I said, we get up at 6 o'clock in the morning, and that's how we get our day started. He uses the bathroom, and then we eat our breakfast, and I just kind of keep that same. This is crazy. I just try to keep that same schedule. Whenever he wakes up, I take him out to use the bathroom, and then we play a little bit. He sleeps a lot during the day. Monique, as far as people being able to find you, maybe they have questions, or you said that you started an Instagram account for both Brownie and Oreo. I did. They do have their own Instagram page, and it's called the Brownie and Oreo Show. I love it. That's just what it is, the Brownie and Oreo Show. And I also have a YouTube channel called Mobile's Corner. And we'll put all that in the show notes below as far as how to find you. Okay. Thank you. Monique, thank you so much for coming on the YouTube channel today. I really appreciate it. And I think as far as, someone who has 2 Boston Terriers, and just keeping those tips in mind as far as don't stop showing love to your older Boston, because they could get jealous, and just having all those toys and stuff picked up before the new puppy arrives. Yes. Thank you so much for having me too.
Thank you so much for watching today's video. If you want to learn more about Boston Terriers, consider subscribing to this YouTube channel. Also, if you want to get into contact with Monique or check out Oreo and Brownie's Instagram accounts, it's going to be in the show notes below. You can check it out there, as well as Monique's YouTube channel. Now, if you're still interested in learning more about Boston Terriers and you want other owners' perspectives, check out this video here I did with Haley. She talks about her experience with her very first Boston Terrier, and she gives some tips on people who have just gotten to Boston for the very first time. Otherwise, you can check out one of my other videos here. And until next time, life is better with a Boston.